Good morning. Really good session yesterday, particularly for those attending the live stream. Did a bit of experimenting on the overs markets, not just 2.5, but 1.5 and 3.5. Some interesting ideas, which I hope to develop over the coming season. Let's just have a look at some of the plays yesterday. This was very unlucky. Hashtag Split did score a winner, but alas, it was scrubbed off. So there was a marginal loss in the match odds where we should have had very good profit, 47 quid. Cluj, this was a play, 2.5 goal play, experimenting. Their in-play stats were superb, that's why I would have gone for that. I also looked at 1.5 goals as well, just to see which of the ones could produce the trade. What we're after is a nice trading move. If over 1.5 goals is something like 1.8, I think that's a very good price. I got 1.57 there, but that was because Cluj were really strong knocking on that door. I did pass the details on to you, but by the time they got to you, they'd scored that all-important goal, which was a pity. That's the match odds play there, which I passed on to you, alas, as soon as they scored. But those of you with an in-play stats feed, I hope would have been on the same page as me and would have spotted this one. Brøndby, another side producing 100% profit. And again, having a play in the over 2.5 goal market when it's 0-0. It's to be traded, but for some reason I left it in. These are supposed to be traded rather than left for finality. We did get a 100% profit in the match odds market, but I didn't save that, alas. It's one of those matches, like the Hashtag Split one, where you've got a small loss on the draw in the hope of a bigger win in the match odds. That happened with Brøndby. And there's a green screen as you can see it there. So a small loss on the draw. This was a very unlucky, must be said. But you could have made a profit on the 1-1. Very slim indeed. We're looking, get that loss on the draw in the hope of that profit on Brøndby. And in this case, Brøndby got the 2-1 and we were amply rewarded, which was excellent. Real Madrid, Valladolid. I experimented with 3 scales of overs here. Because they were 1.14 pre-match, you're expecting goals galore from Real Madrid. So once the odds start rising, you can start backing. I went over 3.5 goal, over 2.5 goal, over 1.5 goal. Now, if you can get over 1.5 goal, of course, you've only need 1 goal to produce a winning trade at the right time as well. It's a very good market. So there, £28 profit, £29 profit, and a £50 loss, aiming for the bigger profit there. So a net profit there. It's all up in the air, experimental at the moment. If you've got any ideas, please do pass them on. And in this particular case, this is where it goes wrong. Union St Gilloise and St Truden. This is off out of kilter because I cashed out wrongly. I did an insurance on this, so this should have been a £40 stake, but I cashed out early because I forgot I placed the insurance. So this, we're looking for over 1.5 goals, but I covered the 0-0 and it ended 0-0. So that's another thing we can look into. The killer scoreline there, of course, will be a very, very late 1-0. So bear that in mind. Nordland in Copenhagen. We were very close to at least a draw. 3-0 to 3-2. But the market was clear. 2.5 the favourite for Copenhagen. They've got an upcoming fixture against Kilmarnock, I believe, in Conference League or Champions League, something like that. Probably not Champions League with Kilmarnock, no. But in Europe, they're already leading 2-0. And this is when sides are going to be at their worst. pre-European club competition. So because it's Copenhagen, I laid Nordland 2-0 up and 3-0 up. Nearly got out. But it could have made a green profit at some point there. Wolfsburg and Bayern Munich, again, playing the goals markets. Oh, this was the match odds. Good profit from Bayern. They really did struggle yesterday. Wolfsburg scored first via a penalty, so that for me was no great alarm. And I kept the faith with Bayern. Like Hajduk Split and Brøndby, I'll take a loss on the draw in the hope of a bigger profit on the Bayern win. But they were excellent second half, it must be said. And again, I worked the goals markets there as well, trying to find a market. But this was the +1, where you get the draw covered. So 1.66 back, 1.13 late. Simple back to late trade. KUPS, again, I did overs here. Waited about 20 minutes in the over 1.5 goal market. Managed to get 1.68, which for over 1.5 goals for a 1.4 favourite at home, I thought was very good value. Again, I'm experimenting in these markets. 1 goal is all you need to produce a green screen, and that's what we got. But as it happened, they scored 3+ goals and won very easily. Fredericia and Hoverdovra. This was an insurance play, so don't worry about that. We got a loss here, but we did cover that with the insurance. Lillestrøm and Tromsø, just a late lay of Tromsø, with Lillestrøm really knocking on that door. Keep your liability low. Now, what I did here to keep liability low was to back Lillestrøm at 12.5. I didn't lay Tromsø as well to cover the draw. I tried to find a way to keep the liability as low as possible. Banneker Strava, another experiment of mine in the overs markets. This was, again, over 1.5, backable at 1.93. I thought was really solid indeed. That back at 4.8 is to cash out, okay? So don't be confused with that one. Brilliant. 1.93. That for me, really good value. Again, take my cues in this case from the in-play stats, which suggested Banneker Strava would score. So that's another thing you have to factor in for your over 2.5 goal play. I prefer doing it this way. If you've got in-play stats suggesting goals, then play overs rather than preempt it pre-match. That makes sense. Vejland Silkeborg, not too sure about this one. Again, it's a very, very late lay of Vejle, of Silkeborg, sorry, because Vejle were really knocking on the door. It's 0-2 down. They actually scored 1 goal with 5 minutes to go to make it 1-2, and we were ever so close to a really big profit. Laying Silkeborg, as you can see, at 1.03, nearly came in. Tottenham under-21s, I thought I'd try this one out, going to the under-21 leagues, but the insurance paid us through. Dender and Club Brugge, I thought it was an excellent performance from Dender. 0-2 down, so I laid Club Brugge at 1.05. Dender did score before half-time to make it 1-2, and you could have got out there with about a 2 or a 3-1 profit. Don't forget, your profit is in relation to the amount risked, which is only a £3 here. So you're not going to be a millionaire with only that liability. But Dender are a side to watch. This is their first defeat of the season, and they were still in with a shout until the very end. Excellent stuff. Southampton and Nottingham Forest. I'm not too sure what I did here. Can't remember. Yes, we laid the draw, but this was the day before, I think. Saints and Notts Forest. So that was it yesterday. And we'll take a backwards walk through Telegram. So that was the Brøndby profit. That was a profit you'd have seen at 1-1. Hajduk Split. We were looking for the winner, and we nearly got it. Got a goal disallowed late on, which was a real pity. Cluj laying the draw. Now, I'll pass this on to you, and wouldn't you know it, as soon as I passed it on to you, Cluj go and score. So that was, again, based purely on in-play stats. So I think in-play stats is a very important tool for you. I even showed you here 4 shots on, 6 off and 6 corners at 0-0. What are you going to do? You're going to lay that draw, aren't you? And it came about. Good stuff. That was a Brøndby play right at the very start. +1 is always an option as well, as I do show you. That was Bayern Munich I think this was at 2-2. So you could have cashed out at the 2-2 here. But this is what I like. It's having a small loss on the draw, which encourages you to stay in. And as you saw, we got the big profit on Bayern Munich, £63. Excellent stuff. They played very well yesterday. Again, Lane Club Brugge against Dender. This was what you would have seen from 0-2 to 1-2. Look at the risk reward. Probably about a 3-1 return. So if that's doubled, that's doubled. If you move the decimal point to the right, that's 97 quid all of a sudden. So if your bank's big enough, the bigger your liability, the bigger your potential profit. But then again, the bigger your loss. So you must factor that in. So it doesn't look like a massive profit, but it's all relative to the amount risked. So really an excellent return there, about 3-1. 1.05, as you can see, well worth laying. This was the day before AC Milan. So all in all, yesterday, an excellent day. Lots of green screens. I really do hope you filled your boots. And please do attend a live chat webinar, or at least look at yesterday's, because there's going to be a lot of talk about the use of 1.5, 2.5, 3.5 goals markets. Really, we're getting somewhere. And all we need to do is to get a template working. So I would encourage you to attend a live chat webinar when you can. It's not just me that helps you. Other people come up with ideas. Mick Durkin came up with some excellent ideas about the goals markets. And this is the live video. I'm not sure if the chat will return, which is a pity. But we had lots of chat yesterday from lots of members. Paul, for example, reminding us Bayern Munich matches tend to see goals before half-time away from home. That got us involved in an over 3.5 and over 2.5 goal play, which would have profited. So here's the video. Do watch it if you can. Got lots and lots of interesting. There we go. Here comes the chat. Lots and lots of interesting stuff. Mick Durkin was talking about getting involved in the goals markets as late as possible, which I agree with. Here we go. Lay a scoreline late on rather than risk laying aside, as the odds are generally decent. And again, this is a neutral play. If you're siding with a scoreline, you've got both teams working for you. But if you take a team, then you've only got that team to help you out. So neutral is what I like. Neutral plays. So lots of really good stuff from everyone who arrives. And in front of your eyes, I will talk you through every single play. You won't be getting this kind of service on Telegram on a Saturday or Sunday during a live stream. Okay. We'll also tell you what happens, what to do when you get a red card for a team you expect to win. We cashed out immediately for about a £3 loss. So it was excellent stuff. Stephen, for example, telling us the Wolfsburg goal was a penalty. This is important because it will increase your confidence in Bayern Munich. If their goal is a penalty, it's not really earned, is it? It's not a goal from open play. So please come along next Saturday and Sunday. You're missing out if you don't. It's as simple as that. We were talking about overs and unders markets. I was showing you actual overs and unders plays, how we control it, when do we cash out. And as the weeks progress, I'm going to be coming up with an overs and unders strategy. This is, as you saw, the 2-2 Bayern Munich. So excellent stuff yesterday. Thank you very much to all of you who attended. Do appreciate that. Today, I'm only researching the top leagues, Serie A and La Liga. Very little for us to work off, but Como newly promoted. Verona beat Napoli convincingly at home. So for me, if that's a real show of strength from Verona, rather than Napoli just being a complete shambles like they were last season. Mosquito, Livramento and Belahayin. Oh, sorry, Mosquito getting 2 goals and Livramento getting 1. So watch out today. They might surprise another big gun, the old lady. 3-0 win against newly promoted Como in their opener. So yet Atletico Juventus yet to really show their hand. Como, you can see that loss against Juve. Cagliari, this is going to be a tighter affair, 0-0 against Roma. So is it a good defence from Cagliari? Can they keep Como quiet? You saw with Ulm and Fortuna Dusseldorf, which was a play I passed on Telegram. Newly promoted v newly relegated. Who won? Well, newly promoted were leading 1-0. Newly relegated won 1-2 in the end. That's what we're going to be looking here. Newly promoted. Are they going to be vulnerable today? The Yellow Submarine, excellent result in their opener. I think it was against one of the Madrids. Atletico Madrid, and then a 2-1 win against Sevilla. So what we can see immediately is a 2-goal habit early on, albeit one of them was an own goal. This is why we look at the goals. So one of them was an own goal against Atletico Madrid, but against Sevilla, where we even had a disallowed goal, Danjuma. So he could be one worth following this season. I think he's been on the score sheet twice, Danjuma. Celta Vigo, 3-1 win against Valencia, and a 2-1 win against Alaves. So we've got a both teams to score pattern in the opening two matches of the season for both teams. We've also got both teams unbeaten. So this is going to be a fascinating fixture, Villarreal and Celta. It's very tough for me to unpack this one, given the good start to the season these two have had. Those are my only main matches this season today. It is my day off as well. Working our way through. Danish Super League. Might want to put that on your radar. I'm not going to be playing the lower tiers, but I wouldn't put you off. That's just my personal opinion. If you're, for example, a die-hard Barnet fan, you'll know more about them than I will. Highly likely Betfair will have these markets covered, but they will be more illiquid than you're used to. But if you know these teams, if you've got local knowledge, you know if there's a major striker missing and you might have a handle in, why don't you play them yourselves? I'm not going to be playing them, but you can quite easily play them yourselves. My problem is liquidity and a lack of trust. I think I've shown you many times that if we start trusting these lower tiers, we're losing money. Clyde, 2-0 down, bossing their match. Premier League 2, it's a local derby, so that's a negative. But is there an over 2.5 goal pattern? That's what you should be looking for in these leagues. Known for goals. So this will be worth delaying. Yesterday and the day before, if you delayed about 15 minutes to 20 minutes at 0-0, the over 2.5 goals nearly doubled. So do note that, particularly in leagues where we expect goals. Talking of expecting goals, Professional Development League had a 100% record the other week with a full set of fixtures for over 2.5 goals. This could be good. Wait 15 or 20 minutes. So I'll try to capture one or two of them today. Keep my experimenting going. I'm not going to be researching the lower tiers, Viskausliga and Sweden now, but SJK are playing Gnistan. Gnistan newly promoted. SJK could find it to their liking. The best thing you can do is just look at the challenge table if fcstats.com is working. Sometimes it's uploading new data, but looks like it's not a going day today. So I would look at the challenge table for these two, see what they've done this season, see whether that's deserved. Certainly, if I was trading this evening, I would be researching this if Gnistan score first, or if it's 0-0 at half-time. Red Star against Ajaccio, French Ligue 2. Red Star could be newly promoted, therefore possibly vulnerable. Let's have a look. Yeah, French National into Ligue 2. So watch out for them. They might be vulnerable, Red Star, but the market's quite confident. Olympiacos should really take Athens Kallithea to town. I think they're newly promoted, but it's yet another Athenian derby for Ollie. So we've got the derby factor, which could surprise. As you can see, SL2. This is the German Bundesliga, the Greek Super League 2. Newly promoted Athens Kallithea. So it is a local derby. I would expect Olympiacos to remind them they're with the big boys now. Israel Liga Ha'al, all hail to the ale. Hapoel Beersheva tend to be a good trading side. I would be looking for them at 6 o'clock. Very reliable. Famous last words, of course. Erste Divisie, over 2.5 goals is the standard here. So again, it could be one delay, 15, 20 minutes. Try to get over 1.5 goals at 1.8 if you can. Oberliga, I would automatically just look at the odds on favourites. Not going to be researching the second tier in Norway. Now we've got the elite leagues with us. So it's a good enough coupon today. We've got Polish Ekstraklasa. Ruch Chorzów were playing Arka Gdynia last week and were lucky to get out of that with a draw. 2 disallowed goals for Arka. Romanian 1 league, 1.85 University Cluj. And we've probably got the Swedes today as well. Spanish La Liga 2. Again, it's too early in the season to be very strong. And the market agrees, 2.55 the favourite there. Allsvenskan, I'm not going to research, but as I say, if the in-play stats are strong, and if Gaius, for example, score first against Hammarby, then I can start my research in play. Similar story if Varberg score first against Landskrona. Is there a reason why Landskrona are odds-on favourite? And can we trust the Superettan? Turkish Super League, Trabzonspor, strong favourites against Kayserispor. Again, you can have a quick look at the opening gambits this season here. So this is a pre and post Conference League for Trab, so watch out. I think they might have a second match upcoming this week. Super League, 0-0 against Sivasspor. So we've got very little to work off. A 1-2 loss in their opener for Kayserispor. So little to work off. But what I would note, and you saw it with Inter Milan, Real Madrid, if you drop points in your opener and you're in with a chance at the title, this could be a banker bet for Trabzonspor. Inter Milan dropped points in their opener, 1-2-0. Real Madrid dropped points in their opener, 1-3-0 yesterday. Similar story for Trab. We'll soon find out. And I believe it's the US Open as well today. But it is my day off. I'm not going to be doing any trading for you. You'll have to be on your own. But you should know enough about tennis, having followed me throughout the summer, to get excited about this. It's good start time as well, 4 o'clock. We're looking, don't forget, these are 5-setters as well. So if a player is 2-0 down, the game's not over. Lots and lots of short favourites. What I tend to do is instinctually pick out matches of interest. Bautista Agut. Just by name rather than by the odds. Papirin, I do like Australian players, particularly when they're favourite. Really good stuff. Berrettini, well, you've got to be laid at 1.01. Old mental man, Rublev. It's going to be difficult playing in a straitjacket for the fiery Russian. That looks very vulnerable indeed. Casper Ruud as well. Taylor Fritz, ultra reliable. Really like him. There's one of the Waltons. Good night, Pa. Good night, John Bob. Good night, Billy Bob. Good night, Pa. One of the Waltons. Dad's left him outside. He must have milked the cows early so he can play tennis. Anyone else? Chris Eubank. Could be a 5-setter, this one. He's better on grass. Grigor Dimitrov should be short odds. Schwartzman should have too much for Monfils, but no. That surprises me. I think Gael Monfils might be vulnerable at 1.22. Mapeshi Pericard tends to do 7-6s. Musetti, very reliable. I like Musetti. So we'll see what kind of a mood he's in today. He really has caught the eye this summer, tennis-wise. Carino Buster Capigno, ass. Struff, far better on grass than on hard. And Nakashima and Runa. Well, we've got Nakashima, could take a set or two. The American in front of home support. The ladies, Daria Kazatkina, catches the eye immediately. Elina Svitolina, Maria Sakkari, Zheng. She had some good performances. I think she played Naomi Osaka as well, or was it Iga Swiatek, and took it to a third set. So I think Zheng could go quite deep in this competition. So again, I'm just doing it by the name rather than the odds. It'll give me a focus if I'm interested in the tennis later on. Elise Mertens has had some injury concerns, so this might be a three-setter. Might be liable if leading. Chloe Paquet to be backed when she's the underdog. She's done it many, many times, starting in the French Open. Really well worth following. Superb player. One of those David Ferrer in a dress, I would describe her. A terrier. She'll bite your ankles and she won't let go. She has had about 3 or 4 wins, win at bigger odds than this. Probably going to do a three-setter. Looks like Hilary Dart, very layable if leading. Really good stuff. I like Chloe Paquet. So have a great day off. Sorry, have a great day. It's a day off for me. But there's plenty of tradable football this evening. And if you want to watch the live chat webinar yesterday, there's plenty of talking points. We're talking over and under 2.5 goals. We're talking using the 1.5 goal market, the 2.5 goal market. And the day before, we were looking at the importance, as you can see here. We're just looking at how long does it take, or this is a Banachor Strava, which produced me a green screen in over 1.5 goals. I think that's it. As you can see, over 1.5 goals hit evens, which for me was excellent. This is the impact of just 1 goal in the over 1.5 goal market. Takes you back nearly to the start. Rather than targeting 2.5 goals where you have to look for 3 goals in total. Here, you just need 1 goal early enough in the match because you're half the way there then. That's why I love this market. The only way to really play it with value is to delay entry. And as the odds rise, you can get in up here. And if the in-play stats are positive, as they were with Banachor Strava, you can hope for that goal coming quickly. So plenty for me to think about. And again, look at this great input from the likes of Paul at the live stream. So you're going to not only getting the benefit of me, you're getting the benefit of others. Well, Robert got that pretty much spot on. If you looked at the scoreline yesterday, we didn't really play the Premier League yesterday, as you saw. I didn't actually take you through any of the results with the big guns because we didn't play. Don't play the Premier League if you haven't got an angle. And I didn't have an angle. Simple as that. Similar story with the other big boys. If I don't have an angle, I don't play. Marseille, I would have looked for them not to lose, but it was far too late in the night. And I was fast asleep by then. St. Pauli, well, this would be disappointed for the newly promoted side, and it could be something for us to note. Venezia as well, they'll be absolutely delighted to have kept Fiorentina to a 0-0. Newly promoted Venezia, could this be their modus operandi this season? Defensively sound, try to nick a 0-1. This was a surprise, Empoli beating Roma, but don't forget, new manager for Roma. This might not have happened under the special one. So be careful. New manager can produce positive display, and it's a bit unlucky, the second goal. Oh, Colombo, the ragged detective. One more thing, he said in the 61st minute. Excuse me, sir. Just one more point, sir. I've got to score a penalty and then solve this murder. Good stuff from Colombo. Fantastic performance from the aging TV detective. The lad done tremendous. So that was a tad unlucky. Probably, was I up for that, I would have laid over 3.5 goals, looked at Roma to get one back. You saw the importance, and this is what Stephen does so well. He tells us that the initial goal could be a penalty. So that's important. I'll stop my rambling now. It's getting to half an hour. Have a great day. I will see you again tomorrow. It was an excellent live chat yesterday. We're getting somewhere with our overs and unders. I've got some strategies in mind. I've got a kind of an idea for a template and some insurance that we can do as well. You saw it work with Unison Gilwa, where only one scoreline will kill you off. So it's very exciting stuff. Have a great day, and thanks very much for those of you who attended the live chat webinar yesterday. Of course, if you don't attend, it's not much fun for me. So thank you very much, and I hope you made a lot of money. Indeed, I did as well. So fantastic stuff. Have a great day and enjoy the US Open if you're trading the tennis.